Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The DRF bets race of the day for Friday, January the 5th is the 7th at Santa Anita. If you're playing from home, sign up to DRF Bets, access a $200 free bet with no deposit required. Head on over to drf.com/join and please use the promo code FREEBET09. Let's take a look at this field of downhill sprinters. We're going about 6.5 furlongs. It is a Calbred entry-level allowance race for fillies and mares. You can access your free Formulator Pass performances at the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. Please download them and handicap along with us. We begin, Matt, with the number 1, Lethal Legacy, 1 for 29 lifetime.
You know, it's going to sound kind of harsh. I have a hard time making a case for anyone in this race, except for the one. I said the one. If Lethal Legacy wins, I lose, period. She was the first pitch for me. It's hard for me to trust a horse that's 12 times second or third from 29 lifetime starts.
And she's had several chances at this level. She's finished behind several of these horses in the past. They shipped her to New York. Maybe they thought they'd get softer ground in New York, and it really didn't work out, whether it was a condition claimer or an optional claimer or dirt. And here she is back again. And you just got to think she's going to be probably outrun in the early portion of this race. And there doesn't appear to be a ton of pace signed on. One of the pace setters, however, could be the number 2, Gotham Desire.
Yeah, blinkers go on for a horse that's going to be trying the turf going down the hill for the first time. The first 2 starts came on synthetic. I thought both of them were very good, and if you just look at the margin of victory in both of them, there's nothing to sneeze at there. I wonder if it's just a scenario where this horse didn't appreciate the dirt. First time turf for Gotham City, about 14%, so that's a positive in your back pocket. I think this horse is interesting, especially if you think there's a lack of speed.
And the Timeform US Pace Projector confirms that assessment. The blue bar favoring horses on or near the early lead. One of 3 expected to be in a scrum for the lead is the newly blinkered number 2, Gotham Desire. I liked both of her first 2 starts. You did too, over the Tapeta surface at Golden Gate. And if you believe that the synthetic form can successfully translate to turf, that helps Gotham Desire. Gotham Desire's dam's a half to a horse that won the Oceanside in her turf debut. I think this very shrewd trainer has been pointing for a spot like this. The 2 dirt races came off long layoffs. She has not missed a beat in her work tab every 7 days since December the 3rd. If she can run back to any one of those first 2 starts, she'll be a handful.
Yeah, and the other big thing for me is the career debut, she won from off the pace, and then she went gate to wire in that stretch out. So you know that there's some versatility here. I'm not concerned about where they position her. I think she's got a big chance.
Kenny Black's had a tough time with it, with the 3 no comparison. This is a 7-year-old, and this is going to be lifetime start number 8. She missed almost 2 years. She came back on dirt. You're not going to really fault her for not running too well. Before she went on the layoff, she really looked like she went off her form. When she was good, she was okay. I kind of like her better at 5.
I'm not going to fault her for that return effort. The problem that I have is, and I know it's dirt and it's a different animal than turf, but she had at least shown big speed in those other races, and she showed backup, and there was nothing early on. To me, I don't like her at all, but I suppose if you want to make a case for her as a big long shot, you can.
For Candy Ruler. Candy Ruler ran okay on turf on November the 17th. It was her turf debut. I didn't think the pace was very fast, though. She was close to it. She finished evenly. She is not exposed like several of these other horses, so I wouldn't be surprised with a slight forward move.
The interesting thing is going to be to find out how she translates to the 6.5 down the hill as opposed to the 5/8 at Del Mar. I agree with you. I have to be honest, I bet her that day, and I liked her, and I just kind of felt like, well, with that trip, I wanted a little bit more because she was just even throughout, and you had a couple other runners, both square, came from way off of it. She's not impossible, and here again, I just wanted to see a little bit more at Del Mar.
Ms. and Glory is the number 5 for a strong trainer in Phil D'Amato. And we always talk about on these programs that we like cutbacks going down the hill at 6.5 furlongs. Ms. and Glory is turning back from a 2-turn mile race. She's finished evenly in those 2 mile races. I think her kick could be slightly enhanced by this shorter distance.
I agree with you. She's only tried going down the hill once, and that preceded a considerable layoff.
She caught a freak that
day. She
day.
Caught a pretty good one, an Algorithmic, who went off to win about 6 in a row. I think this filly is really interesting too, but again, the problem is at 1 for 10, you brought up how Candy Ruler's not totally exposed. I'm wondering if we're at that point with Ms. and Glory.
Expecting the 6 Speakers, another cutback to take a lot of money in this race. She just finished ahead of 4 of these common rivals in that 2-turn mile event at Del Mar on November the 10th. She ran just fine that day, and if you give her a little bit of pace, she's going to come running. If you believe the Timeform Pace Projector, however, maybe she's up against it, cutting back in distance.
Yeah, certainly, especially again if it favors horses on or near the early lead. I don't know about the turn back in distance either. Note that all 6 lifetime starts, they've tried 2 turns with her. Maybe they're going to just try to do something a little bit different. There is also a part of me that wonders, this is off of a little bit of a layoff. Is this a means to an end? Get her one and then stretch her back out.
The horse that finished in closest attendance to speakers in that race at Del Mar was the number 7 Battleground State. She was the 2-to-1 favorite that day. I think she did a lot of work in the early portion, and she was digging on determinedly in the stretch. She's now earned 3 consecutive buyers of 71, gets the right cutback. I think she has more upside than speakers.
I agree with you there. I wonder if we have another forward move. 3 consecutive 71s. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. We need to see some sort of forward progression. But because of what you said, that she did all the dirty work in there, I thought, and speakers took advantage of it. I think she just gives off the impression to me that the downhill is going to be a beneficial trip for her. The other thing, so you brought up the turnbacks. I like turnbacks with speed going long, because now you're going to
They can stay close.
Yeah, you can stay close enough, but you're not going to be out there going 21 and change. If she can sit within a length or 2, I think she's got a big chance.
Laney is the number 8, trying turf for the first time. Like the number 2, she has handled a synthetic surface just fine. She's coming off of a career best buyer speed figure. Perhaps most importantly, that was her first race off a 3+ month break. Maybe she's finally growing into herself right now. Confidence should be sky high, and from this outside post position, Bejarano should have her in a good forward position.
With the exception of that run coming before that layoff there, 2 starts back at Del Mar, she really hasn't done anything wrong. I know that maybe she's not all that fast, but she is totally unexposed. She's 1 for 5. I thought that most recent run, she had a pretty good trip of it, all things considered, but I like the way that she finished. Popular, about 16% first-time turf. I have no problem with anybody going with her.
Of the cutbacks coming out of that November 10th race, you might want to consider the 9 Wine Me Now, because her race 2 starts back going down the hill was pretty good. She caught a runaway winner. She ran a 75 buyer, her co-best of her career. The main concern for me is the pace, or lack thereof. She doesn't have a lot of early speed.
She doesn't, but the only thing, I guess, if you want to flip it around, sure, the pace scenario is going to hurt her. We always talk about downhill at Santa Anita, horse for course kind of angle. She broke her maiden going down the hill. She's also fired very well off of little layoffs, particularly going down the hill. I don't think she's without a chance either.
Even though Promnesia won last time out, I wonder if she's a bit dirtied up coming into this race, because she ran well in her turf debut at Del Mar back in August. Tough outside post position. She punched on, got beat less than a length. Then she just got caught up in a wicked speed duel off a 2-month layoff at Santa Anita. And I don't think people are going to pay too much attention to that dirt win last time out. I think she has a shot to creep into the number, but I would only use her underneath.
Yeah, I tend to agree with all that. That outside post, again, it's really not as bad as it may seem just at face value, because the first turn is a right-handed turn as opposed to a left-handed turn. I agree. I think she's more of a turf horse. You get Kent up. Kent's riding just on fire right now. You could do much worse than take a shot on this horse, who should be a decent number. Big
field, competitive betting race, I think. I think there's an opportunity for a win bet here. Let's take a look at our top selections. You like the 7 Battleground State, lightly raced, cutback in distance, tactical speed. There are a lot of things to like here.
You know what the problem with her is going to be? I think she's going to get bet. You look in all of her races recently, she's in that 2-to-1 range, 5-to-2 range. I think she's probably pretty darn close to that, and I don't think she has any real edge on this field. I like her. I think she's a serious win contender. From a betting standpoint, I just think she might be a bit of an underlay.
But you're focusing near the outside, 7, 9, 8, and 10. While Gotham Desire has yet to set foot on the turf, I am hoping that the pedigree is there. I am hoping that the synthetic ability is a harbinger of good things on the grass. Plus, she can be close to this expected moderate pace. 3rd start off the layoff, working consistently and well. I'm going to go with the 2 Gotham Desire, but I need 9-2. In a wide open race, it's possible.
I think you're probably going to get that, all things considered, because you see, Bejarano goes elsewhere. You get Pereira, which is not a bad thing. Blinkers go on. Outfit that usually does better in Northern California than Southern. You should get every bit of the 4.5.
2, 6, 8, 4 for me in race number 7 at Santa Anita on Friday. Again, if you are betting from home, please sign up to DRF Bets. A $200 free bet is just calling your name. No deposit required. DRF.com/join. Promo code FREEBET09. An approximate post time for our Friday DRF Bets race of the day, the 7th at the Great Race Place. It's 4 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.